Hey guys, PGA Tour coach Randy Joyner here with this week, actually the last 2 weeks worth of Champions Corner. We were working in the Masters. I was doing some corporate stuff at the Masters, and I was helping PGA Tour Radio out last week in Hilton Head at the RBC. So we want to talk about the last two winners. Now, if you're any kind of golfer at all, or you've been under a rock, Rory McIlroy finally won the Masters and completed his personal Grand Slam. So he was one of a very elite group to do that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm sure most of you watched that tournament. And we're also going to talk about Justin Thomas. JT won for the first time in nearly 3 years at the RBC Heritage this past weekend. First thing I want to talk about before we get into the golf swing piece of what they did to help them win that can help your game, I want to talk a little bit about the mental side. If you watch that back nine, which every back nine at the Masters, the tournament really doesn't start till you get to the second nine of the Masters, but Rory ran into some problems. He hit a really bad pitch shot on the 13th hole, left it in the water. He struggled coming in. Obviously, if you saw, he missed that putt on 18, ended up in a playoff with Justin Rose, but came back, fought his way through, hit a great gap wedge into 18 to win that playoff, made that putt to beat Justin Rose. But what I want you to think about is the acceptance that it took for Rory McIlroy to keep going on that second nine on Sunday. He had to accept what was happening and just keep moving forward. And that's what many of you struggle with on the golf course. You hit that one bad shot and you're done for the day. He had to keep going. Now, obviously, he was playing in the Masters and you're just out here playing with your buds, but keep going. Everybody hits bad shots. Here's something I want you to remember on the mental side. Not only the word acceptance, once that ball leaves the club face, accept where it's going, but think about this. It only takes one good shot on a hole for you to make a par. And this is even true at a tour level. It takes one good shot for you to make a par. It only takes two good shots for you to make a birdie. Here's the other thing. One bad hole doesn't make a bad 9 holes. One bad 9 holes doesn't mean you're going to play a bad 18, and one bad 18 holes doesn't mean it's going to be a bad tournament. Always keep that in mind. Golf is a game that's ever changing. We're playing it outdoors. Conditions can change. You can change physically and mentally. You have to accept it and just keep going, and that's what Rory did. Also, JT did it this week at the RBC. On Saturday, we actually had his group, Tom Wormy and I, and we were walking with JT, and what was interesting, on the 5th hole, his ball landed on the par 5 5th hole, landed under a trash can. On the 11th hole, he hit it in the water and had to play it out of the water. On the 15th hole, the par 5, he hit it in the grandstands, had to take a drop, hit a very poor chip shot, made bogey from there. And on 17, landed in underneath a microphone behind the green. He had all that happen to him in Saturday's 3rd round, but he persevered and kept going through. So that's the mental side, okay? Keep the acceptance level up. When that ball leaves the club face, accept where it goes and go hit it again. Now we're going to talk about the physical piece of what both these players did that allowed Rory to win the Masters a couple of weeks ago and allowed JT to get his first win in nearly 3 years at the RBC Heritage this past weekend. We're on a par 3 8th hole here at Ballantyne Country Club. Now this today is probably playing about 220. I've got a 4-iron in my hand, which may be a little bit much right now to try to get that there because that's about a 215 club for me. But we're going to talk about what I see in these players when I'm out there on tour that allows them to hit these shots under pressure that can help you with your game. Now, you may not play like Roy or JT, but you can do what I'm about to show you. All right, so we're going to tee the ball up here. We're going to hit this tee shot. Now, here's what both Rory and JT have in common. As I mentioned, I was helping Tom Wormy out with PGA Tour Radio at the RBC this past weekend, and we had JT's group. And when we would be behind the green looking back at JT on the tee or as he's hitting a second shot, I could tell whether he was going to hit a good shot or not just based on his finish. And Rory McIlroy is the same way. Those two players, maybe more than anybody else on tour, hold their finish at the end of their swing, and you can tell whether they've hit a good shot or not. What I see most of the amateurs do is they're off balance as soon as they make impact. I want you to really key in on finishing your golf shot. And that's something that very few of you think about. So as I make my practice swings here, and you'll notice this, and I'll give you a little tidbit too. Tiger Woods, if you ever watch Tiger play, Tiger would make his practice swings extremely slow. And he would hold his finish and look at his target as he held his finish. All right, and then once you step into the shot, it's all about getting used to holding that finish. And if you do that, that's going to make you a lot better player. So let's see what we got here. Again, we got a 4-iron. Park's just on the left for birdie. But I held my finish until that ball hit the ground. Get into that habit, guarantee you, that's going to help you with your golf game, because that's what Rory and JT do. Help them win the Masters and the RBC Heritage this weekend. So thanks for watching these last 2 weeks of Champions Corners. Roy McIlroy, JT winning the last 2 tournaments, Masters and the RBC Heritage. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next Champions Corner.